Hello and welcome all to the third edition of webinar series with universities on igniting young minds, rejuvenating rivers. The youth of the country are the driving force for the economic, social, cultural growth of the nation. If the youth is ignited, country will progress. National Water Mission for Clean Ganga (NMCG) has been driving hard through the Jan Ganga and Gyan Ganga interventions under the Namami Gange program to engage the young generations and sensitize them about the importance of rejuvenating rivers. The first of its kind webinar series and initiative to establish a connect with the leading education institutions and to the young minds to achieve this goal. For this series, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Shri G. Ashok Kumar. He is a senior IAS officer and currently serving as a Director General of National Mission for Clean Ganga. Prior to this, he was Mission Director, National Water Mission, where he was instrumental for various successful campaigns. Thank you so much, Shri G. Ashok Kumar, for joining us for this webinar. We have with us Professor P.B. Sharma. He is a Vice Chancellor from Amity University. We have with us, thank you so much, Professor Sharma, for joining us today. We have with us Dr. Shailendra Kumar Tiwary. He is the Dean from Kite Group of Institutions, Delhi. We have with us Dr. Surya Prasad Rao. He is Director Teaching Learning Cell, Sharda University. So I welcome all you once again for this very important session on Namami Gange and to save water. Before I hand over the session to Shri G. Ashok Kumar for the keynote address, I would request our backend team to please play a Ganga anthem. I think it's a very beautiful anthem. I would request them to please play that before I hand over the session.
भगवती तव तीरे नीरमात्रशनोऽहम् विगत विषय तृष्णा कृष्णमाराधयामि विगत विषय तृष्णा कृष्णमाराधयामि सकल कलुषभङ्गे स्वर्ग सोपान संगे सकल कलुषभङ्गे स्वर्ग सोपान संगे तरल तर तरंगे देवी गंगे प्रसीदा 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 नमामि गंगे नमामि गंगे नमामि गंगे नमामि गंगे स्वर्ग की परछाइयां दिखती तेरे आंचल तले माँ तेरी हर बूंद में बहती हुई ममता मिले तू हथेली तन पे फेरे मन को भी निर्मल करे जिस तरह को तू छुए जीवन से उसको सींच दे लेके आया हर कोई बस पाप तुझको सौंपने फिर भी तू बहती चले सबको लगा करके गले स्वाद अमृत का तुझे ही चूम कर जाना प्रसीदा प्रसीदा की धारा कैसे मैं देखूं संतान हो। माना है तुझे माँ ये धर्म है मेरा, मैं तुझे तेरा वो सम्मान दूं।
Thank you for playing this beautiful Ganga anthem. Now it's time for the keynote address. Now I hand over the session to Shri G. Ashok Kumar, Director General, Namami Gange. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. I welcome Dr. P.B. Sharma ji, Vice Chancellor of the Amity University, Dr. Shailendra Kumar Tiwary ji, Dean of the KIT Group of Institutions, Ghaziabad, and Dr. Surya Prasad Suvaru of Sharda University to this program. This is third of the series of program which the Namami Ganga had planned, just to connect young people to the water and water conservation program, and particularly the title of this program says it all: Igniting Young Minds, Rejuvenating Rivers. So this idea is to get people, youngsters, appreciate the value of water, appreciate the value of rivers, appreciate what steps they should take to rejuvenate the rivers, and then maybe secure the future. That's what we are looking at it. So this is a very important aspect of their life, I would say, rejuvenating rivers. From my experience, we were having a lot of programs in the National Water Mission, which I was heading earlier, where we used to have monthly programs. So in fact, every Friday we used to have a program on various aspects of water. We had a water talk on every third Friday, which used to get sometimes like about 2.5 million views sometimes, where practitioners of water conservation and activists from the field of water used to come and showcase their work. And then we had also on every second Friday, what is called as a water tech talk, where technology on water was being showcased. And on every third Friday, we had the water business talk, where what are the business opportunities of water was being discussed. Apart from that, we used to have the programs, the DMs, etc. So one major campaign which the National Water Mission did at that time, and a very successful one though, was the Catch the Rain campaign. It had the tagline, "Catch the rain where it falls, when it falls." So this was launched by the Honorable Prime Minister himself on 22nd March, the World Water Day, with a simple message of storing as much rainwater as possible in your own compound. So another way of looking at it was, not a drop from my compound. We had started this using the services of institutions which have large area, because when we started this in 2020, the COVID had come, so we didn't have much hope to get it all involving the people as such. So in 2020, we started this with the help of institutions which have large areas, particularly the universities, the central universities, IITs, IIMs, the Air Force, Navy, and those training institutions, the cantonment boards, ordnance factories, PSUs, etc., which have a lot of land with them. We told them that try to conserve as much as rainwater as possible in your compound, so that your water table goes up, and it also helps us in reducing the urban flooding, etc. It reduces the the power required to pump up water, etc., etc. A lot of benefits we had identified, and this was very successfully done. And then PM mentioned this in his Mann Ki Baat on 28th February 2021, and then we launched the national-wide campaign Catch the Rain. So the message which was picked up by the people and the youngsters at that time was, we should do something to store as much rainwater as possible in our own compound and premises. This was a classic case of decentralized storage of water, and not of the type of storage which we are used to in big dams. Somewhere take water somewhere far away and then store it and then bring it back for irrigation, etc. That was the model which we were used to it. But then this particular model had a lot of advantages, in the sense like it also brought in youngsters to the fold, and it also brought in people's participation. Because if you are storing water in your compound, in your house, you are becoming a part of a big national network for storage of water. So this was probably one of the very, very successful decentralized crowd saving of rainwater. And I'm very happy to inform you that the tremendous response we got, we have done more than 47 lakh rainwater harvesting structures in the country. And the amount of money spent is also about 76,000 crore in the entire country, using various schemes like your Manrega or that Amrit, etc. So this has shown that if all of us together join hands, we can definitely do wonders by storing as much rainwater as possible. No, so this so now coming to the specific problem of igniting young minds and rejuvenating rivers. See, these young minds are very fertile, they're very impressionable, and they are the one who have to face the music of poor water or less water in the future. It is their future which they are actually protecting now. Our generation probably would have had messed up with the water. We had drawn up a lot of water. We have polluted a lot of water. We have actually drawn up more water than what they had replenished in the groundwater aquifer, with the result that the water table has gone down in many places, and many of the rivers which should be in the villages, in the cities, have dried up. So there are two issues which has come up. One is about the pollution of, I would say, put it in a order. Many rivers have vanished. Many rivulets have vanished. Many small channels which used to bring water to the big rivers have vanished, because they have either been encroached upon or they have been blocked by silting, etc., and the entire course has dried up. So there is no water which is actually coming to the big rivers. So because of less feeding of water from the small channels, the bigger bigger rivers have started dried up. So many stretches of Ganga itself is having only sand during this the lean period. So to revive back the rivers, the best thing is to start with reviving smaller rivulets, reviving smaller nalas, ensuring that the encroachments are removed, so that rainwater, or whenever rain comes, these rainwater flows freely to the water harvesting structures. And very important is, we have to get back to the nature by reviving the wetlands. The wetlands are one of the major sources of ensuring continuous flow of water in the rivers. They are like sponge which absorb water and then releases it slowly during the off-season time. To ensure that there is continuous flow of water in the river, you have to have wetlands protected, and then these wetlands only let them release the water slowly to it. So that's where the young minds are very important, because the ministry which I represent, or the Ministry of Jal Shakti and the Youth Shakti, Yuva Shakti, are all similar, something similar. See, water is very essential for life, and it has tremendous power, which is not actually, it doesn't know it. If this water is taken, the energy of the water is channelized into constructive purposes, it is the basis of life. It gives us food because it is the one which irrigates and gives, it turns nutrients from soil to rice and other fruits which we eat. It is the one which makes grasses for the animals to eat. So we eat the meat. So water is the one which actually sustains life. But if the very same water which we store in large quantity in a dam, probably if the dam bursts, you can see how much damage it can come. We have seen umpteen examples where the unleashing the power of water can create havoc. This is exactly what the youth power also. If the youth power, with raw youth power, which can be tapped, diverted properly and made into a very, very constructive thing, wonders can be achieved. And it is very essential that this is tapped properly and not let loose into destructive thinking. They have to be made positive thinkers, they have to be guided properly, they have to be channelized into constructive purposes so that they are in command of their future, they take care of the issues in the future today itself. But if you are not letting the Yuva Shakti to be properly channelized, or if you let it go waste, run amok, it can be a total disaster for the country. India boasts of having the biggest youth power or the younger generation in the population, and we are telling that our human resources asset is the biggest asset we have. So, but if this human resource asset is not properly qualified or given good quality life, then we may have a big disaster in our hands. So very important that at the university stage, as we read that catch the rain, we have to catch them young. We have to catch them young at this stage to put them in the right track, to make them think about the necessity of conserving water, necessity of reviving the rivers and rivulets. We should do it, and this is the right time to do it. So my request with all the very senior faculty members here is, you have a huge force of students with you. They revere you, they respect you, and your command, your statements are commands for them. So this youth which you are handling, you should inculcate good qualities about water in them, how to conserve water. So you have to probably do some steps to ensure that the one water falling in your compound area or in the college area, all water should be conserved, and see that not a drop comes out of your compound. We should also tell your students that their house, they should start conserving water, saving water, reducing the wastage of water so that water is conserved. And these in turn will, in fact, let us the flow of water into the rivers, which can let the flow of water. Now, one point which I request all of you, as head of the institution scan, is you have NSS with you, you have other youth organizations with you. Let us adopt at least some villages around your major institution. Ensure that all water bodies in those areas are identified, earmarked, encroachments removed, and see that the next rainy season, maximum water is stored in these sectors. So if we can take an action plan for that, people also will get to use it, and maybe start off with your own university to have rainwater harvesting structures in all the buildings of your university, so that youth can also learn, understand it. And it's getting my time. Just one more minute, I will say. So prepare an action plan where young children, the minds of the young impressionable age students are put into constructive works, particularly in the water sector. Because if we are dreaming of a $5 trillion economy, the limiting factor is water. You may get power, you may get money, you may get technology, you may get manpower, but to have the $5 trillion economy in place, the limiting factor would be the water. So water, we have to conserve. Water which we have, we should recycle it, so that every time we need not take the fresh water from the nature, and let this water flow in the river, and the river ecology and marine ecology are preserved. So ecology is very important to preserve. So I stop it here, and I'm sure that all under your leadership, you will be able to ignite young minds for rejuvenate the rivers, starting with small nalas, starting with conserving rainwater, starting with conserving the ponds, starting with conserving the water bodies, etc., and see that we achieve a goal of our 5 trillion economy without any constraint from the water side. Thanks a lot for listening patient to me. Now I request Mr. P.B. Sharma, the Vice Chancellor of the Amity University, to give his remarks. Then I request the other 3 panelists also speak, and then we'll have a panel discussion on that. Thanks a lot.
Please unmute, sir.
First of all, let me thank Mr. Ashok Kumar.
Just 1 second. No, I just because Gopi can please introduce him. He's also a very eminent personality. Please, Gopi, can please introduce him.
I will introduce myself.
Just 1 second, process.
Professor P.
Gopi, please introduce him.
No.
Professor Sharma is saying that he'll introduce himself.
Thank you.
I'm Professor P.B. Sharma, former professor of IIT Delhi, founder, Vice Chancellor of Delhi Technological University, founder, Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi Technological University, currently Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Gurugram. And let me thank you, Mr. Ashok Kumar, for taking this great initiative to think of igniting the young minds for rejuvenating rivers and water bodies. It's absolutely essential that we reach out to our young mind, but people like me, who has been Vice Chancellor for perhaps the 4th time, realize that I need to ignite the minds of the Vice Chancellors as well as my teachers, because students today are very different than when I was a student myself. Today, they learn more by example. They learn from what you do rather than what you preach and what you say. And that is why in our Amity University, as well as in Delhi Technological University or Rajiv Gandhi Technical University, where I was the Vice Chancellor, I ensure that we lead by example for igniting the young minds. As far as water is concerned, I ensure that both Rajiv Gandhi Technological University as well as Delhi Technological University do not draw even a single liter of water from the municipality, nor tax the government actually for the purpose, because they don't have enough water even for the citizens. Why should I tax them when I have a campus of 242 acres for Rajiv Gandhi Technical University, 165 acres for Delhi Technological University, which I had, and today at Amity University, 110 acres. So what we have done in Amity University is to ensure that we showcase to the young minds and lead by example as far as not only water recharge is concerned, water conservation, but also ensuring that the entire wastewater of the campus is recycled, properly treated, and reused also. Even the residents of the Vice Chancellor receive the treated wastewater. Now, this is how you lead. Every single toilet in the campus, whether it is academic block, administrative block, hostels or residences of the faculty or even Vice Chancellor, everywhere treated wastewater is recycled. But I have to treat it to the extent that it poses no threat to anybody. And I also ensure that while treating this wastewater, it should be cost effective, and it should also not tax, in fact, the water resources. So suppose I have a centralized RO plant in my campus, I ensure that the wastewater from the RO plant is utilized for treatment of the wastewater. So that part of this, what you call circular economy, in this case, you can call it which we are utilizing and ensuring that we are saving millions and millions of fresh water every year, which otherwise would have been wasted if I would have not treated and recycled and reused the wastewater. Having said this, let me say that the extensive harvesting is absolutely necessary. Amity University Gurugram is a totally water-secured campus. So are our 11 Amity universities which we have around the country. Delhi Technological University is a totally water-secured campus that I constructed in 1994 onward. And I can assure you Rajiv Gandhi Technical University is also 100% water-secured campus. Now, this is how you will inspire, ignite, and will engage them. But merely igniting minds is not enough. you have to think of igniting the minds of the scientists and technologists who are working in the university to develop new water technologies which are required. In my own university, for example, if I have nanoscience and technology, I inspire my nanoscientists, what can your nanoscience do for treatment of wastewater more effectively? And they developed, in fact, a technique by which the nanoparticles can be utilized for removal of the heavy metals from the effluent wastewater, and we are rejuvenating, in fact, the water body of the Bilaspur village in the close vicinity under a program which I'm sure must be financed by Jal Shakti. So this is how you go about. Once I can do this using at one place, I can then create a multiplier. But I also need to inspire and ignite the minds of the municipality, councillors, chief municipal officers, chief executive officers of the municipalities, and I also need to, in fact, ignite the minds of the people and society at large in order to take this issue of water security seriously. Let me also give you one more tip which is important. We have been crying, in fact, for the last 20 years or more about rejuvenating our rivers, without perhaps realizing that the biggest damage which has been done to the rivers is primarily because 70% of fresh water is consumed by agriculture. So unless you are able to conserve, in fact, the utilization of water, fresh water in agriculture, in my opinion, I would perhaps not be able to see that day when the rivers will be rejuvenated. Because much of the damage to the rivers, and I come from Bidisa, I have seen, in fact, Bhetravati River, which is mentioned along with Ganga, Yamuna, 𝐾𝐝𝐤, Narmade, Sindhu, Kaveri, Chipra, Bhetravati. So that river irrigation to flood the fields of wheat. Wheat does not require flooding of flooding of a field. Rice does require. So wasting fresh water of the river for agriculture without any utilization of the scientific mind and technological mind which we have in respect of utilization of water for agriculture. That's a gray area. I want young people who are graduating from Amity University, Delhi Technological University, IITs, IIMs, and great many, including Sarda, and my friends are here from other university also. Let the young minds think of going rural with high-tech mind, with scientific solutions to ensure that rural areas are also, in fact, saved from the water insecurity which they are currently facing. I visited my village before coming to this webinar day before yesterday, and I found they are reeling under severe water crisis. I visited the river where I was born, and I've seen how that river is calling the Vice Chancellor like Professor Sharma and the scientist of this great nation, hydrologist of this nation, and the young mind to apply their mind to rejuvenate the river. So I think the issue is far more serious. I appreciate the seriousness with which the Namami Ganga mission and the Jal Shakti ministry is really working towards creating a water secured India of our dream. But this dream cannot only be fulfilled by merely inspiring the young mind. We have to inspire the scientists and technologists for developing the right kind of water technology. Country requires water technology centers to be set up in all big universities. If I would have been the advisor to the Ministry of Education, I would have said all big campuses, all IITs, all NITs, all central universities, all big private university campuses must be water secured. And water security there must be created by their own engineers, innovative methods by which they can. If I can do this in Rajiv Gandhi Technical University, DTU, and also in Amity University, why can't all IITs do it? They can do 1,000 times better than me because they have all the resources required in order to create a water secured camp, but a bill power is required. All large actually habitats must be water secured, in my opinion, and you have to ensure that water security is achieved in our own lifetime through extensive water harvesting. I also would like to pay greater attention to the river basin of including Yamuna, which is very close to where I am speaking to you at the moment. And although I see a water university park being prepared there by under the guidance of Professor C.R. Babu, I believe, who was Vice Chancellor when I was Director of Delhi College of Engineering. Good idea. But ensure that you are able to create even the groundwater storage facilities along the rivers. Plenty of our fresh water directly goes to the actually to the oceans. I also want to ensure that water harvesting goes to the villages. And I was born in a village where water harvesting of the highest order was there at a time when the universities were not working in water technology. And the villagers used to pool their agricultural land and will ensure that the rainwater stays there almost for a month in a large catchment area to recharge the entire groundwater of the village. The whole village was smiling. People were surviving up to 100 years. My mother lived up to 101 years. And the blissful life by that. Go to the same village today, almost everybody is crying. They have all the diseases you can imagine. And in fact, the entire charm and happiness of life has gone. If I have to create 5 trillion, rather 10 trillion economy, I can do it surely. India will have even 20 trillion economy, but question is at what cost? And can we also include in this economic acceleration the great effort which we all need to see on water front, to water technologies as well as energy technologies, and also ensuring that the habits and lifestyle of our people, which are today wasting so much of water, are moderated, and we become a sustainable society in the right earnest in terms of sustainable consumption of water. With these remarks, I thought let me finish by saying that the great days are ahead. We need to inspire the young minds. Anyone who comes to study in my university at least will take home the message and say to his parents that, look, I'm studying in a university where water security is a reality, and it inspires me to think of a sustainable campus without taxing the municipality of Gurgaon for water. So this is how we need to lead. I do it, and India must join the hands of the highly positive initiatives which the government has on card, and we need to create 10 trillion economy by 2035, alongside with not only water security, but happiness index going to the highest top 3 countries rather than the bottom 10 or bottom 15 where we are today. And let me also finish by saying that I also want to see that more money to be spent on developing what you call the sewage treatment plants or wastewater treatment plants. It can be done. If Singapore can do it and treat its entire wastewater and even create new water which the guarantee is better than the fresh water, why can't India do it? Our scientists, our technologists, and our policymakers, as well as those in implementation, must think seriously about the water technologies of the kind that are required to tackle the monster of the wastewater, which is currently destroying whatever little reservoir of water which we have in our rivers and water bodies. Our nation has a great inspiration for the whole of the world, what you call Ganges, in my opinion. I went there to see it in 1982, took a dip at Gangotri, but then I was told that it's not just here that Ganga is there. You have to go to Kedarnath, you have to go to Badrinath, and then you have to go to Rudraprayag. You must go there and see how the interlinking of river took place to ensure that the Aviral Dhara of Gangaji continues to flow throughout the year. So I visited all those places when I was professor in IIT, and it came to my mind that the greatest of the hydrologists on earth was in fact Maharishi Bhagirath. If we could think in those days of interlinking of Mandakini and also Alaknanda and Bhagirathi at the Rudraprayag and Devprayag, and then allow us the bliss and happiness of the Namami Gange to bless us throughout the year, I think great job. If India of the ancient could do it, India of the modern time can do 100 times better, and we must not fail in our duty and responsibility to achieve that goal. Thank you so much indeed for giving me this opportunity to be with you at the initial opening of the webinar. If any questions are there, I'll be very happy to answer. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Sharma, for beautifully explaining the importance of water in our rivers. Small remarks by Shriji Ashok Kumar over this.
Thank you, Professor. Actually, you really hit the nail when you said that the biggest problem which we now face is regarding the agriculture sector, because agriculture, we look at the usage of water, 90% of the water in India is used in agriculture sector, and it is scientific irrigation which is actually creating problem, because we use, as you rightly said, flood irrigation, and we waste a lot of water in irrigation. our water use efficiency in agriculture is very low. That means when a farmer of America produces paddy, a kilo of paddy probably or wheat at about 700 liters, we use 3,000 liters of water. So it's a huge wastage of water, which is actually preventing. So yes, we should increase the water use efficiency in agriculture sector. Better methods of agriculture has to be taught in. People, anyway, it is very difficult for the people to change. There was a time probably in the 60s when we had a problem of food shortage. So we tried to put maximum irrigation. Kaise bhi tarah aapka ugao karke, we went on to that. And now, once they are used to that so much of water and the policies of free power, etc., which actually gives them power to draw more water from underground, which has depleted the water, they are not willing to move to a better irrigation facility where, like Israel and all, where they use every drop of water is properly scientifically planned and put. So they use precision irrigation facility where exact quantity of water which is required for the plant to fruit is given. And though this water is not wasted for the weeds, that's the type of precision which we do. And we may not reach to that level now. But as you rightly said, agriculture probably is one of the biggest elephant in the room. So we'll have to address it properly. We have to increase the water use efficiency in agriculture. And you being the president of the Association of Indian Universities and vice chancellor of the big university, and also worked in Rajiv Gandhi University, etc., have a tremendous potential power to influence. So use your influence power to get every university and people of other universities also to join us in this campaign. So let us, in the next year, the rainy season, catch as much rain as possible and see that maximum small rivulets are rejuvenated in and around our campus. Let us begin with our universities, where you have maximum rainwater harvesting done inside our compound, and our students going outside to the nearby villages, spreading the message of better irrigation facility and better usage of water. Thanks a lot. Very nice opening remarks from your side. Very thankful to you. So,
Grateful to you for capturing all the bullet points. I would surely like you to even support, if necessary, all IITs, all NITs, all central universities, including BHU and all others, including, in fact, some of the large private universities. They all must be water secured. It can be done. And I think that's the area that will then set out actually the message. When I was the chairman, I'm still the chairman of the Kendriya Vidyalaya, Sector 25 in Rohini. I ensured extensive water harvesting is implemented. Let the students see the benefit actually of this. Let them also see water conservation is possible. Let them see wastewater treatment is possible. Everywhere we need to inspire the young mind. Then only igniting their mind would be really working for Jal Shakti, and I'm sure we'll achieve the goal. But thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to join you, and we are here with you. We can assure you we will work for you, and we'll ensure that this message, when I was the president of AIU, I ensured that all my vice chancellors take me seriously as far as water security, energy security, effective waste management, and the green practices of the kind that are required to be implemented in our university. I'll continue to be your advocate in this respect, in fact, for not only my own university, but for all universities.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Sharma. Now, I would request Dr. Shailendra Kumar Tiwary. He's Dean of BTech and Applied Science and Head Environment and Energy Management Cell from Kite Group of Institutions, Delhi. Over to you, Dr. Shailendra.
Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon, everyone present here. On my personal behalf and on behalf of Kite Group of Institutions, it is a matter of prestige for us to be part of this initiative and work along with the National Mission for Clean Ganga for Namami Gange program. The topic of the webinar has been very rightly given as Igniting Young Minds, Rejuvenating Rivers. The success of any program depends upon the involvement and participation of the mass, especially our youth. As an academician, I firmly believe that if we are able to sensitize and ignite the minds of our youth towards a mission, we can get effective contribution from them towards its accomplishment. We all are aware that the most ancient source of water, even before the human race came into existence, was the rivers. The river systems have sustained civilizations after civilizations since the time immemorial. All the rivers and their tributaries are conventionally and dynamically the source of life for us in the various forms. Apart from being the major source of human physiological needs and agriculture, river water is an important aspect with respect to transport, energy, habitat, civilization, and industry. The river ecosystem is a complex mosaic of interaction of the human and interrelationship of the biotic and abiotic components in the dynamic equilibrium. The ecological function of a river is linked to the hydrological variations in the river flow. And what is the maximum sustainable use from a river that will maintain the ecological integrity of a river as a perennial resource is very important. River rejuvenation is an effort aimed at restoring poor health of overexploited and polluted rivers. Here we need to understand the causes for the poor health and focus on the restoration efforts from source to sink. Depending on the level of deterioration, river rejuvenation aims at a new sustainable healthy river ecosystem. Avoiding direct entry of domestic sewage and industrial effluents into the river will certainly improve the river health, but flow of river is its identity and the most significant variable of a river system. Besides performing the various functions, it also gives the self-cleaning and healing power to a river. Thus, the river rejuvenation also calls for optimal freshwater flow through the river system during the different seasons. Here, it will also be very relevant to mention that under the initiative of United Nations in the year 2015, 193 countries adopted the 2030 Agenda for the Sustainable Development with 17 Sustainable Development Goals. In these 17 SDGs also, a lot of emphasis has been given to environmental sustainability. Academic institutions can play a very important role in fulfilling the expectations of the mission and contribute towards the agenda of rejuvenating our rivers and the sustainable development. We can identify what activities can be done in the areas of the teaching, learning, research, operational activity, and work accordingly to contribute effectively in the attainment of these goals. Just for example, firstly, the type of courses being taught and the outcomes being defined in the academic institutions, like some courses or contents related to environmental sustainability should be there in the curriculum. Even one of the graduate attributes of the engineering programs also puts emphasis on the environmental sustainability, and the graduate must be able to understand the impact of the professional engineering solutions in the societal and environmental context and demonstrate the knowledge and need for the sustainable development. Secondly, the kind of research related activities in these areas which are being carried out in the campus. This could be in the form of papers, patents, capstone projects of their students, internships, seminars, conferences, workshops, organizing expert lectures and awareness programs which can easily be taken at our campuses. Operational activities at the institute, as very rightly enumerated by Professor Sharma, the use of solar energy, use of water conservational technologies in the hostel or the institute premises, use of even electric vehicles inside the campus, etc., and the motivating students for the innovative startups. At Kite Group of Institutions, an environment and energy management cell has been established with a mission to reduce the environmental impact of various day-to-day activities of the institute and make the campus eco-friendly. Several awareness programs are being conducted at institute level for the students. It also helps in developing environmental consciousness in the minds of young professionals who graduate from the institute, as well as the faculty and staff members. The institute is working since long towards saving of water level, stoppage of wastage of water, and conservation of rainwater. In this context, we have established a proper rainwater harvesting system for aquifer recharge in association with external certified agency. The rainwater harvesting system has been established as per the norms of the local administrative authorities. Sufficient number of rainwater harvesting units have been installed, and the collected range for the same is also available at different locations in our institute so as to stop the wastage of single drop of rain. We have well-established sewage treatment plant, and the treated water is being reused in the various purposes like gardening and all. We all know reactive approach is fast becoming redundant as environmental problems are becoming complex and multidimensional. What is needed in the present scenario is a professional and systematic environmental management system for achieving the environmental sustainability. I am very much confident that the active association and involvement of higher educational institutions in the National Mission for the Clean Ganga will definitely help a lot in rejuvenating River Ganga by igniting young minds and make the Namami Gange program a great success. Once Henry Ford had very rightly said, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. At the last, I would like to sincerely thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share my views on this important issue. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tiwary, for sharing your thoughts on the said topic. Small remarks by Shriji Ashok Kumar over this.
Thank you, Dr. Tiwary ji. You have actually addressed many very important issues in this regarding the quality of water and ensuring that the overall flow of the river, which helps in self-cleaning, which helps in ensuring that the environment is protected. One of the major problems which India face, particularly in the river sector, is one, absence of water because of diversion for irrigation. The second important aspect is wherever little bit water flows, it is all getting polluted because of the sewage which is being dumped on that. So that's one major issue which you also mentioned. So these two things we are trying to address. But the best panacea for all this, actually, as you rightly mentioned, is water literacy. We should have best awareness among the people and the students that they need to protect the river. They need to ensure that the good quality of water is ensured. So normally people say the 5 R's of water are for conserving water is reuse, reduce, reuse, recycle. So we have added 2 more: the rejuvenate and also respect for water. This is very important because हम तो पहले पानी का, जैसे शर्मा जी बता रहा था कि villages में पहले पानी को respect करते थे, and because of that people used to नमन करते थे and they hesitated to make it to pollute. अभी क्या कि हम थूकते भी हुए, कचरा भी वहीं फेंकते हैं, पानी को we don't treat the respect which we should give to the water. So our endeavor, which we have been trying to say, is that of course reduce, recycle, reuse, and all are part of but the basic fundamental thing which we should try to inculcate among the student is the respect for water. So when they find the water being wasted, they should suddenly kick in their mind, "Ye hamara future bar raha hai." They should ensure that the action plan, parents, they should tell their relatives that they should not waste water. So that is the message which we'd like to take it up. Thanks a lot, Dr. Tiwary.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
So now I would request Professor S.S. Prasad Rao. He's a director for Teaching Learning Center from Sharda University, to share his thoughts. Over to you, Professor Rao.
Respected Ashok Kumar ji, Mr. Gopi Arora ji, Sharma ji, Professor Shailendra ji, and all other participants, a very good evening to everyone. I am Professor Prasad Rao from Sharda University, representing the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sivaram Khara. As you know, Sharda University is a multidisciplinary university that has emerged as a leading institution of higher education with nearly 13,000 students on its rolls. We have 4 schools offering medical and medically related courses, and 10 schools offering engineering, management, science, pharmacy, etc. Sharda University is much concerned about the overall development of the students while providing the right kind of education and exposure. We take care of teaching, learning, research, consultancy, and providing infrastructure, particularly intellectual, digital, and physical infrastructure. Because of the pandemic, we realized that digital infrastructure is very, very important along with the physical and intellectual capital. We believe that outcome-based education is the only thing where the students can be completely engaged with some productive work, and they will all have some experiential learning. As part of this, we also encourage the students to take part in the various extension activities that aim to learn teaching methods that connect meaningful community service to academia or academic curriculum. So service learning blends community service goals and academic and experiential education goals to benefit the students. Extension activities and learning techniques that and tools to strengthen community relationship and connections. Even though there is a disruption caused by the COVID-19 for the last 2 years, our university is not compromising on conducting several community-related projects. Our students have covered a wide variety of subjects during this challenging time. They have investigated the impact of COVID-19 on multiple areas, such as society, economy, mental health and education, technology, pollution, and environment. Even gender security and gender issues and food security are part of that. We also believe that the Community Connect programs are part of the experiential learning. Hence, the students are encouraged to take up socially relevant, valuable, and actionable research projects. Friends, water is a precondition for human, animal, and plant life on Earth. Deforestation, pollution, overexploitation of water resources, damage to aquatic ecosystems, climate change, and security issues are challenging the sustainability of water systems. In parallel, population increase, economic development, urbanization, land use, or natural geomorphic changes also question the sustainability of resources by decreasing water supply or increasing demand. The average annual rainfall in India is quite reasonable and is around 1200 millimeters. However, its uneven distribution in time and space, supplemented by frequent monsoon failures and ineffective resource management, make it even scarce. So, adopting the efficient renovation and recycling approaches can balance addressing the quantity and quality issues associated with the requirements. As a rural nation, India spends 85% of its usable water resources in the farming sector, leaving the rest for industrial, domestic, and recreational processes or purposes. The recent spurt in agricultural activity, industrial development, and urbanization, supplemented by natural disasters and liberalized policies of the government and financial institutions, have been mounting stress on groundwater resources in India, especially in the challenging rocky terrain. In addition, people started realizing the importance and need of maintaining water quality only in recent times. Even at one point of time, 1 liter of water is 20 rupees, half liter of milk also is 20 rupees. Just imagine, milk is sometimes cheaper than water. People are that much conscious about the water quality. As per many studies done by national and international agencies, more than 50% of the diseases are waterborne in India. The need to supply adequate, safe drinking water with easy access has become the top national priority. To meet the growing water demands, the country initiated several programs like rainwater harvesting, replenishing groundwater from surface water resources, and creating large dams and reservoirs mainly to provide drinking water and help irrigation. Hence, igniting young minds, rejuvenating rivers has become the need of the hour. There are almost all the states are taking so many initiatives for harvesting the groundwater and maintaining the proper water resources. I can quote two examples from two states, the southern states where I am from, the Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. The Telangana government has started Mission Kakatiya to rejuvenate the water resources of the lakes, ponds, the small rivers and reservoirs. And there is another scheme by Andhra Pradesh, Neeru Meeru. In this concept, they are all trying to develop the ponds, canals, water pits, and even water harvesting at the residential areas also. Being a university, of course, we are doing water harvesting system very well in place. We are also making the students partnering in the water harvesting system. We are encouraging the students to take up the social projects because just for the sake of learning, people may not be interested. We are attaching 2 credit course, which is outcome-based education. We encourage the students to take up the course so that they will do the projects, they will do the activity-based or active learning, so that they can earn their certificate course, and also they get exposure to the village life and the practical inputs which are required for understanding and appreciating the various efforts put in by the various local bodies, governments, and other important agencies which are working for this cause. I'm sure the universities with this kind of initiative, most of the universities will come forward, because anything comes from the top, people may not be willing to accept. If it comes from the bottom, everybody will be partner in it, and we can meet the objective very quickly and very productively. I believe it. The going to universities and making the universities part of this program, I think it is a kind of bottoms-up approach. It is a bottom approach. Definitely it will help to reach the goal very quickly, very comfortably, and partnering the student community. Today you may be student, tomorrow he or she may be an entrepreneur, may be a leader. So they all understand and do accordingly. With this, I'm ready to take any questions from you. Thank you so much for giving me a fantastic opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rao, for sharing your thoughts over this. I hand over to Shriji Ashok Kumar for small remarks over this, and then closing remarks by Mohammad Najib ji. He's a senior corporate communication manager from Namami Gange. Over to you, sir, first.
Thank you, Rao Garu. You mentioned about the initiatives of Andhra and Telangana. The Neeru Meeru was one of the very good initiatives in 1999 and 20, and we were also at that time district collectors of, I was Rappa collector at that time. So a lot of work was done, and then somehow we lost that in the process after that. So those concepts we had actually put it up in the Catch the Rain campaign last year when we did this Catch the Rain campaign with the tagline, "Catch the rain where it falls, when it falls." So this, if you look at it, there's a very simple message of storing rainwater where it falls and when it falls, so that maximum in situ rainwater harvesting can be done. Exactly what Neeru Meeru at that time envisaged. So there are good examples where this type of works are done. We have also, India had a history of many rainwater harvesting structures. You have Bavilu, Tarvata, the step wells. Many of you are aware, the Rajasthan that Gangas are there. So a lot of traditional water harvesting structures were there existing in the country, but somehow we have lost it. So as a part of our regaining the history, part of our knowing Indian history, we should also connect with the water harvesting structures. That's one way of looking at how history can be also revived. So the old Babi, our kings, many of the old kings have done very beautiful rainwater harvesting structures in the form of Babis and etc., which is now many of places it's fell into disuse. So our students should actually try to look at the history of this water body. That will be a good theme for them to go and learn where the Rani ki Vyao kaise ho gaya tha, how was this the Ugrasen ki baavi kaise hai. So all these things are all history also. So students can be made to get interested in this by using history, by using various this type of techniques, so that they go and study there, look at the history of that water body, how was it constructed, why was it constructed, how was it maintained. See, if you go to the Red Fort and all, beautiful air conditioning systems of water channels were built to actually reduce the temperature inside the palace. So these are all techniques which our forefathers knew, but somehow we have lost it on the way. So we have to get the children also interested in that, and in the process develop respect for water. So my request with all of you is, since we are all such good influencers and students there, my request is probably we should start building upon the Catch the Rain campaign, or the effort to store as much rainwater as possible in now itself, because normally kya hota hai ki we run when the rain comes to look for the bucket. So then by the time we take the bucket, the rain is gone. So we should now start it now itself, that rainwater harvesting structures are built in your class. Your very important thing is that many of us buildings got approval with the rainwater harvesting structures in place. But that was the first year. Now a lot of leaves would have come in chatta when all the patta gir ke wo sab would have clogged. So we should ensure that all those channels are cleaned, and we would have connected this to some rainwater harvesting structures with the gravel and all, and done. That was all the first year. Now let the students look at whether these stones have become packed, loosen it up, gravel has to be put so that the water goes down to the ground. So these type of maintenance of water harvesting structures have to be taken up. Let us do that in all our campus. And once the campus is done, we should go to the neighboring village and see that all the rainwater harvesting structures in those areas are maintained first. Let us not every time make more and more structures. We are very experts in that. We make every time new structures, and the old one is forgotten. So the existing structures are maintained. We go to the villages. The ponds are there. So let us maintain the ponds. Encroachment, if it's there, to be removed. The channels which bring water to this water bodies are cleaned up. These things can be taken up before the onset of monsoon, so that when the rain comes, all water comes in joyfully to this water body. So that's one we should take it up. And since you also all are from Delhi in an area, Namami Ganga, we are planning to take focus drive for Yamuna. We have done a lot of work, and our Ganga water is clean. Everybody is acknowledging that, but the Yamuna is polluted. Yamuna, a lot of bad water is there. So we are now trying to focus on Yamuna. So if your people and students can also join us in the drive to do this cleaning up of Yamuna, it will be very good. So let us organize some drives by university students, etc., to clean up this Yamuna in your stretch nearby. We can adopt some areas so that the Yamuna is cleaned up, all the ghats of Yamuna are cleaned up. We also will identify the outfalls where dirty water comes in, and we can do a survey of the outfall where the dirty water is coming in. So these are some of the things which can help us, and also interact with community where from where the dirty water comes into the river. If this can all be done, you rightly mentioned about the community approach. So we should try to get the community connect and ensure that the nalas which bring dirty water to the river are sort of tapped, and see that it is not falling into the river. So thanks a lot. Wonderful to hear all of you. So if you have anything, anybody to say, please butt in and any of your comments before Najib comes in. Now the platform is open for anybody to please talk if you have any more points to be added.
Although very good.
Go ahead.
Okay. Many good things have really come out in discussion. But the point which I still thought must be scored in the minds of all the viewers, that the dumping of the waste in our rivers and water bodies need to be taken up now very seriously. Really speaking, we need to reward those municipal CEOs who are ensuring that waste is properly reprocessed and reutilized rather than dumping in water bodies or rivers. We must double their salaries if possible, and we must also reduce the salary by half in case they can't do it. Likewise, I wish to plead for shared responsibility. It's not just the responsibility only of students or teachers, it's a shared responsibility of the society, those who represent us, those who govern us, those who are in chairs of authority. Everybody has to be responsible. If I would have been given the free hand, I would say I'll double the salary of the Vice Chancellor, so long as he can say that my campus is water secured fully. I don't need even a liter of water from outside, and my campus is also energy secured. I don't need any electricity from outside. So I would certainly like to bring in such like initiative, because it's very important for us to realize that our whole effort of doubling our or tripling our economy will bear fruits, provided we on the side take up actually this kind of agenda. So I would also plead actually to Ashok Kumarji that Jal Shakti is a great idea. Why not you bring Vayu Shakti also, so that the two great medicines of the soul, that is the Pran Vayu and the Amrit, which is called water, could really be protected and for the years to come, for the generations to come. Currently, our air is highly questionable, and so is the water. Lastly, let me say that greater investment is required in setting up research centers as well as research cum test centers. I don't have very many test facilities around actually where I could go with confidence that yes, they will do proper testing and certification, and should this apply to water, this apply to air, this will apply to food testing, this will apply to a whole lot of tests. So my judgment is that what higher end water technology centers, which are at the same time able to serve the cause of higher end test centers, in my opinion, should be established in not only in IITs but in all important universities around the country, and let the government seed some money in this respect. This will do a great job actually for all of us. Lastly, as I said, let me repeat, the younger generation is more wiser than us. My grandchildren often tell me, finish your glass of water, sir, before you get up, or take it with you. We carry our bottle. So likewise, I think the younger generation is very serious, but they are to be led by example, and this example has to be set up by us wherever we are in whatever capacity we are. I would certainly like to reduce the salary by half of all those legislators where water table goes down. Rather, the difference between the maximum level and the minimum level goes actually higher every year. I would reduce the salary by half. I'll double the salary also for those who can say that I have minimized this gap to 50%. Okay, I'll give you twice the salary. We have to bring in such kind of mindset. Then only we'll be able to create that desired urgency and intense urge in our mind to protect these two great medicines of the soul, water as well as air. But thank you so much indeed. I have many more things to say, but the founding fathers of Amity are not only just conscious but committed to ensure that the university is led by example in respect of water security, energy security, effective waste management. Go to any of our campuses, you will find they are lush green. I'm having a Gosala in my campus. I have a herbal garden. I have totally water secured campus. And I was even pushed to wall in Rajiv Gandhi Technical University. They gave me 242 acres without a drop of water. They knew that Professor Sharma will run away, go back to Delhi, without realizing that I'm coming from IIT and Delhi College of Engineering. Today, that campus is totally water secure. I did not try even when I was there water from outside. Extensive rainwater harvesting, plantation, and a whole lot of other measures. I created 2 water bodies within the campus, because 242-acre campus can afford to have 2 water bodies, which can use as groundwater recharge for you, and low-level water harvesting in a slopey area, like bunders. So I think we need to take this task very seriously. I'm sure Jal Shakti can create the Shakti for the Bharat of our dream, and this need to be done. Last but not the least, take our rivers please more seriously. They are also crying for desilting. They are crying for creating more reservoir capacity. Whether you do it by desilting or create reservoirs in between, up to you. Engage the scientific mind, not only of Indians, but even the best of the world actually, to tell us what can be done in order to create much bigger reservoir capacity for our rivers, so that the fresh water stays there for much longer than it does at the moment. I could walk into many of the rivers today, which I was not able to do that because the reservoir capacity has really gone down of the flowing stream. I must stop at this point, and thank you very much indeed for the great opportunity given to us to share with you the excitement with which we are working, the conviction with which we are putting our brave face that we are a water secured campus. my air quality is at least twice better than the Millennium City and at least 3 times better than the capital city of Delhi, because I ensured that dust-free campus, no traffic inside, at the same time lush green campus, and also ensured that I create really the Great Wall to stop the dust coming from Rajasthan to my campus, because I am at the doorstep of Millennium City as well as the capital city of Delhi. All these innovative measures are absolutely there. We have a monitoring station provided by the government, but I can assure you, 1,000 times better than they would have thought that the water quality, air quality is maintained. Initiatives like these are the valid means of igniting, inspiring, and preparing, in fact, the workforce of tomorrow with the mindset of water sustainability and the green future for our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nadeep.
So, yeah, over to you,
Like,
Najib ji.
Yeah, sir.
Yes.
My submission is like operation.
Yes, Professor. Please go ahead.
Yes, Professor Rao, please.
Yeah, like Operation Flood, how we made milk available everywhere, like that, green revolution for agriculture and other kind of harvesting. We can do it on a large scale by making the partners from the educational institutions, the local bodies, the non-governmental services, NGOs, and at the school level, we call scouts and guides, the NSS, NCC, the social service leagues. These are all very much specialized associations in the schools and colleges. They can take this kind of mission to the grassroots level, so that one is on educating people and the other is applications, and third one, thought leadership. I think with this we can definitely achieve the goal. I think Ashok Kumarji has a very, very ground level experience and exposure to make this mission and vision reaching everyone in the even in the remote areas of the country. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Like sir, we all know that youth are full of ideas, and those ideas and energy needs to be channelized. And like rightly DG sir has said, that we have to catch them young, and catch them young for this important mission, which is water conservation, river rejuvenation, and very important thing, which is respect, which they have to develop for the water resources which we have. That needs to be generated. And sir has given a wide perspective what exactly can be done practically, so that our water bodies get rejuvenated and we have a better future, better water security with us. So thank you very much, sir, for that. And Professor P.B. Sharma from Amity University, he is having a long experience of really implementing things, and what he has shared with us, I hope that in future also we will engage with him and generate more ideas to how to engage students and colleges under the wide network of the Amity University. Thank you very much, sir. Professor Dr. Rao and Dr. Tiwary, they have shared their ideas to how research and all those academics in the institution, how this particular subject can be brought at the forefront, so that students get interested and practically they can come up with their ideas. So in future, we will like to engage with you. We will go to the next level of communication. Our senior colleagues are also here. So we will interact with you in future also, very often also. And I would like to thank all of you for coming for this important topic. And in addition to this, I would like to thank my senior colleagues, my colleagues in the NMCG, and those who have joined online. I'm very thankful to all of them, and APAC network for organizing this platform. Thank you very much.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Najib ji, for giving the opening remark.
Thank you so much.
So I think with this we come to an end of this edition. I would like to thank all the esteemed panelists again, and thanks to DG sir for sharing his views, and thanks Najib ji for giving the closing remarks. So with this, we come to an end of this edition. Till then, take care. See you again for the 4th edition. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Thank you.